And we are live. Hello, all newcomers, and welcome back, my fellow Aeternians. As always, it is me, Empire of Aeternia. There is a lot that we have left to do in this spring planting season, but today we're going to be doing something particularly important, which is actually putting in our garden beds, particularly planting the carrots and onions. Greetings. I got a message on Discord, I believe referencing the stream, so give me just 1 second. Okay, thank you. So Bellamy was just telling me that there may be some issues with the beginning of the stream, but I wanted to get you guys updated on what we're doing here. So you see this bed behind me, this path right here. This is a bed that we are going to be working in today, particularly that part way down there. If you can see my shovel and that stick, we are going to be planting about half of this row, a little bit less than half of this row, with this bed, with carrots and onions. So we're going to be doing that today, but first we have some preliminary things to do to prep the bed. So let me go over there and show you what we're working with. Without further ado, we are going to get into it. So first things first, we're going to be doing some watering. Now, you may see the thing we planted in our first bed here is some potatoes. So you can see some of these potatoes here looking quite nice. It's taken them quite a few weeks to actually grow up to this point, but they're doing well, they're thriving, they're growing, and we are glad to see it too. Some of the rest of the you can see there's not really much growing right there. There's a little bit growing right here. There's a little bit growing right here, and then some further down the bed. But that being the case, some of these are pretty late bloomers. They're taking a little while to start. I have checked on them. Some of them don't seem like they're going to do great. Some of them are just taking a little while to get started. So we're going to give it a little while and see what they do. But we're going to come back later and actually water these potatoes in, because since we started, this hay has retained moisture quite a bit, but we want to make sure they stay nice and moist to continue allowing them to propagate just as much as they possibly can and thrive. You can also see we still have a bunch of weeds that are growing in here. Our hay has suppressed quite a bit of that, but in the rest of our plot as well, you can see even where we've mulched, where a lot of this leaf litter is, there's plenty of grass that's growing up. And so we have techniques for going up under that leaf litter and clipping and then just pulling those pieces of grass straight out. So it is a little bit of work, but it's not too much headache. And it does keep the grass a lot more controlled than you would see in places where we have not put down the leaf litter. So that being the case today, we are working right here. This is our active second bed that we have moved all of the leaf litter aside on and are prepping for our carrots and onions. Now, let me set you guys down so I can give you the scoop on exactly how we're going to be doing that today. Hope you guys can see me well, and thank you so much for 20 viewers right now, 4 likes. So you can see right here we have a pretty wide bed that we've been able to spread apart. We're going to do 3 different rows in this one bed. So we're going to be doing carrots in a thin row on the left. We're going to be doing onions in the middle, and then we're going to be doing another thin row of carrots on the right. So it's going to go carrots, onions, carrots. And what that's going to do, those carrots are going to grow up pretty quick and pretty aggressively. So we'll seed them a lot thicker than we think we need, and then we're going to thin them out in the future and let them grow up. And then we are going to have those onions coming in about a month. They're going to come in a little slower. The type of onion that we're actually planting here is not ideal for this environment. They're going to be big Walla Walla onions, which are what they call one-day onions. And this is a short-day environment, so it's not quite fit for it. They won't get quite as big as they really should, but we're going to seed them pretty heavy here as well, and just see how much we can get in terms of bulk. So we'll probably get smaller onions, but we should get quite a bit. And so that's going to be our goal here. Both of them are nice because they're going to both kind of loosen up the soil for each other. They're going to grow a little bit out of step with each other, so those carrots will grow a little quicker than the onions. They'll make room for each other. And they also are companion plants. So the onions help to deter carrot flies, which are a pest and a predator for those carrots. So that should help us to retain a pretty good harvest here. And those onions will also help to protect things like our potatoes and things we plant in other rows as well. That being the case, thank you guys so much for being here and continuing to hype up the stream, help keep it alive. So again, what I'm going to do, I have our hose out. I'm going to go ahead and start watering and just getting this ready. And then we are going to go in and start actually planting in this row. So give me just 1 second. Yeah, I better do it on this side. So right now I'm just going in. I'm going to water fairly deeply. What this is doing is we are just trying to get a lot of this soil I've actually gone through and pre-loosened to just get nice and moist. And don't do that. And I'm stepping over here in one of our walkways so that I don't recompact all this soil that we just spent some time loosening. And go through like that and just real deeply water. Another thing that we're going to do, when we finish this watering and we finish our planting, our seeding, we're going to come back through with all this mulch and lay it right back on top, as well as a lot of this cardboard. And that'll help to retain all this water I'm putting in the ground and keep our seedlings nice and moist so they can germinate really efficiently. And this, if we're successful, now I've never planted carrots or onions before, so this is going to be a new thing altogether for us. But if we're successful, we should be getting, let me not hit all of our potatoes, many, many pounds of carrots and onions. You know, we're looking at maybe 200 carrots or so if we can do this right in this bed. So again, this is just about half of the bed, a little less than half actually. And what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be what they call succession planting. So we'll start with a bunch of them on one half, let them grow up, and then at the end of the season, we'll do another half. That way we don't get all of our produce at one time. But feel free to jump in those comments, ask us questions. Today we're doing some gardening. All right, that should be pretty good. Now, just while I'm here, so I can save a little bit of water, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with these potatoes. So I'll go down here and I'll take you guys along with me as we water. In fact, I got a better view for y'all. Here's a little small one poking through. And another couple right here. Now, a lot of this hay you can see is all moved. And that's because I found a number of potatoes in here that weren't popping out, but I could tell were still thriving and they're expanding their roots. They're getting close to the surface. So I just kind of loosened up some of this hay. Still act as a weed barrier as much as it can, but also to make sure that they get enough sunlight to start producing leaves and actually start their journey growing up. So I'm going to make sure that I water all of this in real well as well, even though I can't see any actual leaves poking up out of the ground. I know there's some in here. And then we'll get to starting our rows for the carrots and the onions. Okay, awesome. And we just finished that row. So what I'm going to do is head out and pick up this hose, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, everyone. Now let's get started with our carrots and onions. So I have this board right here. What I'm going to be doing with that, what I'm going to be doing with that is using it to press our rows out. This will be a little bit different for the onions because we're going to be doing them a slightly different method, but this will be great for our carrots. So I'm going to grab some carrots, the pack of carrots and the pack of onions. We'll get started with the carrots. Reek, I'm going to call you Reek because the name is a little bit long, says get milkweed to attract more butterflies. I think that's a great idea. We do have some packs of wildflowers that we've been meaning to sow, but just haven't gotten around to it, trying to make sure we get the garden set up first. And we do want to make it a nicer habitat for our flora and fauna around here. But excuse me, let me grab these seeds so we can get to planting some of our food. Okay. So today we are going to be planting two different types. We are going to be planting this kaleidoscope blend of carrots, which will be really nice. Give us some colorful carrots, hopefully. And then we're also going to be planting these Walla Walla onions, which are a sweet onion. They get pretty big, but again, in this short day area that we're in, geography, we may not have as much success with getting the size bulbs we want, but we still should get quite a few onions. So what we're going to be doing is grabbing our board and getting started. If I didn't just move that board off to the side, like I think I might have. Oh, I'm so silly. All right, set it right here. Got our board, got our seeds. Let's get to it. Hop over here, jump back into our walkway, and I will set you guys down to show you what we're doing. Okay. I think this should be a good enough distance to give you some initial understanding of our plans, and then I'm going to move you guys back significantly to get you out of the path. So, like I said, I'm going to in fact set down our seeds right there, make sure I remember where they are this time, grab our board. I'm going to make sure real quick, I'm just going to check, to make sure the soil's nice and ground up, nice and moist. That's great. So now we're just going to start setting these guys out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come into here. Again, make sure this is pretty well broken up. I'm going to go in and start setting this row. I'm just going to go in, press it down, and we can see where our row has been marked. And again, I don't want to compress the soil more than I am with my board here. So I'm just going to go right along. I'm going to scoot our leaves back as much as I can, try and prevent them from becoming part of the row as much as possible. And then once again, just go through and press down right here. In fact, I'm a little bit nervous about how close to the grass these guys are. They may get a good bit of competition. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to actually shift our row over just a little bit, inch or two. So I'll start it right here. And go through just like that, press our row in. And the thing about carrots is that they really don't need to be planted too deep. Again, I am no expert in planting carrots. This will be my first time, but my understanding is they really don't need to be planted too deep. And also, they are something that you plant in abundance. So we're going to spread them pretty heavy and see what grows. I think we should do pretty well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, since we're starting, so I'm going to move you guys way down here. I'll actually set you past the point that we are going to be ending at. Then I'm just going to go ahead and make our row real quick, and then come back to show you the progress. So we're going to go pretty quick here. I'm just going to press down, move our leaves out of the way so they're not inhibiting the growth of our carrots here. Go in and keep pressing their path down just a little bit. Don't want to have them too deep, but just a little bit. Going and pressing that path until we get all the way to the end. Okay. I am messing up our cardboard, but that's okay. All right. Good. So now we've got one long trench. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other side just so we have our two trenches set out. I'll show you guys what that looks like, and then we will go ahead and start on the onions as well. Well, we'll put the carrots in, close them up, and then start on the onions. Nope, I take that back. I'm going to learn my lesson. We're going to plan successfully. I'm going to do the other row, set it for the carrots, then we're going to set out where we're going to actually put our onions. That way everything is laid out properly. So that way when we actually go to put everything in, we don't lose track of where we planted something. If I close up my rows for my carrots and then I start my onions, I may put my onions too close to my carrots, and we don't want that. So let me go ahead and do these other line of carrots, and we'll get started. Okay. Again, just trying to move as much of our leaf litter, our cover, our weed barrier out of the way. And we're just going along and marking out that other row. Now, one of the things we really want to make sure of is that as we go ahead and do this, that we don't get a bunch of leaves falling back in to where we're marking out. Because if that happens, they could inhibit the growth of those initial roots from the carrots. So again, just pushing back this weed barrier a little more than I maybe have to, but I just want to make sure that we're good and protected there from the things that were protecting us previously. All right. And if a little bit of leaf litter gets in, it's not the end of the world, but the less the better. At least right where we're planted. Now, the other thing I have to be mindful of as I go along is making sure that I am not, Tiffany's bringing moon dust, making sure that I am not going inward or outward, making these rows real crooked. Got to try and keep them evenly spaced as best as possible. You want to show off moon dust? Oh no, don't throw them in. Attack cat. And here is wonderful Tiffany with sweet moon dust, here to hang out with us. Don't let him step in that stuff, please. Yeah. Also, he's pretty light. He won't compact it a ton, but I'd still prefer if he didn't get a chance. He's very cute. Okay. So I think we're doing pretty good here. Yep. Just setting out how we're gonna line the carrots, and then the onions will go between them. Yep. But that's okay. It's not enough that it will stop them. Yep. But that's how people do them. Yep. Okay, so we've got that. Now I need to grab a little stick. Probably.
Something up there.
Yeah, there's a cricket. There's a cricket in there, but that's okay. He can hang out. He can hang out. Okay. So I'll show you guys. Maybe hard to see on camera. One row right there going along. We have another row right here going along. That one's especially tough because it's right there where our leaves were set, but that's okay. So now I'm going to take this stick and I'm going to go in and set out where our onions are going to go. Like I said, I'm going to plant them a little bit thick, but that'll be okay. Oh yeah, nice. Mm-hmm. At the limit of the microphone. Okay, I appreciate it. Can you hand me that word? I messed up the lining of the rows, I can tell already. Board, please, ma'am.
It just hit in there.
Oh, no. That's okay. All right. I'm going to fix this part right here because I can see it. That's okay. And then we're going to come over here. I'm going to make this a little wider to line it up properly. Okay. That'll be better. So now, fix that.
You did that just to undo it.
Well, no, I'm doing this. That's the row. Okay. So now I need to get my stick. But before I do that, I'm going to read the back of my onion packet. I was helping my dad to move the leaves aside without bending down.
Never mind, don't use that stick. That's a bad stick.
That's okay. Okay. So thinly in rows 12 inches apart and cover with 1/4 inch of soil. Firm. Thin seedlings to 5 inches apart when seedlings are 1/2 inch high. Okay.
1/2 inch?
Well, hold on. What? Oh, don't do it right there. Don't do it right there. We're doing in the middle, but I got it. We're going to use a thicker stick.
This is a good stick.
Nah, we need it to be a thick stick.
This is a big stick.
Yeah, and we're not going to go real deep, but I'm gonna do this. I got you. Okay.
What's the depth? A 1/4 inch?
Yeah,
depth?
very
You
thin.
could pretty much just throw it on top and then just...
Sure. The reason I am trying to do them a little bit is so that I know where to spread the seeds, but that'll be okay. Because
but it's such a thin depth.
Yeah, we also only have a limited
That's
amount
way
of seeds.
too much. That's like an inch. That's what I'm saying. You just want to like essentially throw these on top.
Okay. The issue is I don't have enough seeds to do them super thick, so I have to be real careful about where I place the seeds. And these are black seeds, so once we start spreading them, they're basically disappearing. Can you hand me my gloves? Thank you. No, that one will work. That one will work. Yep, that one, please. Yep. I should be doing it with my left.
Okay, down goes the onion.
Yep. Starting with the onions, everybody. Again, I'm sowing them a little bit thick. They're a few months old seeds, so they're not that old, but Again, these are not ideal for our climate. We would do better with a shorter growing period onion, however, or a short day onion. However, we are going with these.
I'm gonna head out. Have fun.
Thanks. Love you. Yep. Once again, this is a crop that I have never seeded before. So we are just going to have to try our best here and seeing how well it goes. I should be using my left hand to do this part, but I'm going to crumble up some dirt, make sure it gets on top of there, help start that seeding process real well. Okay. Okay. And that is horrible. We have actually run out of seedlings. So we're only this far into the row, and I'm going to actually mark where we are. And we have run out of seedlings. So I thought we were going to go the entire length, but these Walla Wallas did not last nearly the length that I thought they would. So again, I'm going to lay my glove down right here where we stopped. I'm going to take a big stick and I'm going to mark where they stopped. And then the benefit is that later we can always come back and stick a few more in the ground. So I am going to mark this as where we stopped planting our Walla Walla, tragically. But now we know. Okay. So this marks the end of our Walla Walla. Let's go ahead and do our carrots. The carrots, we should be able to get the full length. We have quite a bit of these. And even if we ran out of this pack, we actually have a second pack. But this should do fine. Okay, so we're going in pretty thick with these guys. We don't want to overseed too much, but they should be okay. We're just going right along here with these guys. Okay, we have officially passed, at least for one row, the mark of where we planted our Walla Walla. So we're doing good with the carrots. Got a good bit more of them going and started. So we're going in and we're seeding, again, pretty heavy, and then we'll thin them out later. About 1/3 done with the section that we're doing today. All right, approaching the halfway mark. Okay, we've officially hit halfway, or maybe a little over halfway. And we're just finishing these guys out here. People have a method for sowing carrot seeds like this, where you kind of tap the back of the packet, knock them out into the row. I am not quite that advanced yet, and I was worried that I was going to be piling them on a little too thick accidentally. So I am knocking them into my hand and then spreading by hand, just to make sure I have some even control over that. Okay. Good news is it seems like we may not run out of our full pack just yet. We may be able to start the second row with one pack, which would be awesome. Trying to get some leaves out of there. Okay, let's finish up this row. Okay. Oh, goodness. That's way too many. All right, with the amount I have in my hand here, we should be able to just about finish out the row. So that is excellent. Okay, and we're right here about to finish out this row. Okay, and I'm just going to sew them back a little bit thick, go back a little bit. Okay, we have officially finished out this row. What I'm going to do is go ahead and start the second row, and then we'll bunch them up let them sit in the soil, and we're going to pile all these leaves back on, and we will have planted. What we're going to do is we're going to buy some more packs of onions to actually continue with the onions, but we will know that we've done good with our carrots. So let me hop over and we'll do those. In fact, while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and grab the second pack of carrots since I know I'll need them. Okay. Let's get started with the rest of these carrots. As I go along, I think I'm getting just a little bit better with spreading them. So that's great. Make me feel a bit more confident in how they will turn out. But again, this is my first time ever trying to plant carrots, so we're going to see if anything happens. My estimation is that we'll get some, but I'm sure there will be a lot of lessons to learn along the way. Okay, so I've nearly finished out this first bag, and look, we're finishing out, ironically, right around the same place where we ran out of Walla Walla seeds. So on our carrots, we got this first bag done, the entire first row of carrots, and right about where the Walla Walla stopped with the rest of that pack of carrot seeds. Now, in total, I have probably spread between 200 and 300 carrot seeds right here alone in that first row and starting on the second. So that means we should be getting something. If all of those turned into carrots, we would have, you know, if they were fully sized, nice thick carrots, we would have a lot of carrots to harvest. But they are sown a little bit too thick, and I am a beginner at this, so I am certain that we will have some learning to do before we need to say, oh, we have way too many carrots. We're overflowing with carrots. But we'll see. We'll see how hard they are to actually grow. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll get a ton of carrots. I hope I am. I hope we get more carrots than we know what to do with. I've actually heard, you know, you can leave the carrots in the ground to store them, especially over winter. Now I'm planting in the spring, so we'll have a summer harvest for these. I say that, we may have a early fall harvest, depending on how long they take. But one way or the other, we should get a lot. Now, my expectation is that even if we do get a lot, they're going to be babies. Again, spreading them this thick, and also it being the beginning of springtime, or I say the beginning of springtime, about the middle of spring, I think we're going to get some pretty aggressive growth on these guys. But if we do, I'll have to come back to you guys and update about thinning them out. We may have some baby carrots on our hands next time we see you guys, or at least next time we're back in the garden doing some thinning. Back to these carrot seeds. Okay. And this is something I haven't mentioned in a while, but I want to go ahead and shout it out. This is a part of the Garden of Nations. So if you guys remember from last summer, we have the raised garden beds that we were showing off. We had the sign for the Garden of Nations. This is an addition to the Garden of Nations. We are just expanding. We are harvesting more, planting more, trying to grow as much as we can. And so this is still thanks to our official sponsors of the Garden of Nations, which is currently the micronation Beatus crass, and also Primario. They are both micronations, the Empire of Primario, both out of Texas, both wonderful micronations with wonderful leadership. And we are proud that they are sponsors of the Garden of Nations. So this is absolutely thanks to them. And if you want to support us, want to learn about that, you can support us over on our Patreon and reach out to us with any assistance or help you may be able to give us as well. Because we are getting close on these carrot seeds. And so, whatever harvest we have, any positive growth, any successes we have will be thanks to those amazing sponsors. And hopefully, if we did have just a ton of carrots for some reason, we can give them away to the local community. We, of course, are going to try to can and preserve and do what we can to maintain some food for ourselves, reduce our costs, reduce our reliance on grocery stores, things like that. But we would like to be able to support the local community in getting fresh food as well. So any successes that come from this garden are thanks to our amazing sponsors, and any issues or problems that come, any headaches that come from the garden, or any lackluster results are from me. So be sure to appreciate our sponsors as I am trying to, and know that, again, this is a part of the Garden of Nations. We don't have as much signage up right now, but that's hopefully going to change here in the summer. We are a bit rushed to actually have our planting season going. So that is a big part of what we're doing actively. But once we get through the main part of our planting season, we should be doing some upgrades around the farm to ensure people know that they are in the Empire of Aeternia, that they are at Talon and Vine Farm, and they're here celebrating history and culture and identity in a territory of the Empire of Aeternia. Okay, now we have finished up. We actually have a little bit of carrot to spare, which is great. So what I'll do is I'll save the rest of this, and then in the case that this doesn't work out for whatever reason, we'll also try some in our raised beds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down, grab my gloves, and we're just going to cover these guys up with dirt just a little bit. Cover them with the leaf litter that we have and move forward. And if we have time, I can show you guys a little bit of our lettuce seedlings that were growing up. But we're just going to go along each of these rows and just kind of very lightly pinch them together. I'll do it one row at a time so I can move a little quicker and I make sure I don't mess them up too much. But yeah, we're just going in right there, making sure we get a little bit of dirt on these guys. Not planting too deep at all, just trying to get them started. Just the tiniest amount. Just going in, kind of pinching over top of them. Excuse me, guys. And hoping that we can get them to grow up. We got a little spider here running the row with us. He is not happy that we've messed with his home here, but we are hopefully doing it in the name of progress, and being able to provide him his home back through that leaf litter that we're going to cover back on top. So hopefully he's still able to do his thing and let us do ours as well. Again, going in, just trying to finish up this row here, making sure that we don't overly cover. And then what I'm going to do, because I think I'm smart, and I'd like to think that I am, is I'm going to finish up this up. Well, nope, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to take 2 sticks. I'll come and show you guys our 2 sticks. Backing you guys up a little bit. Here. And I see Rich says, spiders are a good sign for a farm. They can help keep pests at bay. Absolutely, especially right on our crops. So not too worried about that guy. We want him to be living and enjoying his life. We're going to be taking these 2 sticks, and I'm going to find where I just covered up my row there for my carrots, and I'm going to stick my stick down into there, right about here. And I know that this is one right here. It's hard for you guys to see, but I can see it pretty well. This is one stick right here that's going to mark where one row of the carrots is. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other row of carrots. I haven't covered those carrots yet, but nonetheless, I want to mark where they are and where we planted them so that I am not too confused in the future when I go to look for them. Okay, so we have 2 markers, one right here, one right here. Enough for me when I come out and check the rows. And I'm going to go down once again. If you guys can see me all right, I'm just going to take my glove here, and I'm going to go the opposite way, pinching along, not too deep, but just kind of barely covering up where we just put all our carrot seeds. And if I do it right, we should end up with at least a few carrots growing. So we're going to try it out. Okay. So we're getting these guys and we're moving down. The good news is I can move the dirt around because I'm not worried about the onions at this part. They didn't get stretched this far down, so I know we're still doing all right there. And again, I can go ahead and just kind of keep pinching down, and we're almost done with that part. Okay, and we are about to start running into those Walla Walla seeds again. So I'm going to try to be a little bit mindful of them as I go along. But we're just going to keep pinching that soil up, seeing what we can do to get these guys covered. And continue making our mark and planting for bed 2. Okay. So that is officially bed 2 started. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start pushing all our mulch back. Over these guys, especially. Okay. Over where we don't have our cardboard. And then where we do have our cardboard, I'm going to try my best to place some of that down. Although I have scattered things quite significantly. So I have to do a good job at making sure I get this spread back out as evenly as possible. Especially for those Walla Walla seeds that we do have. We have some onions that we planted, and hopefully those guys are able to start off strong and get us a good beginning for them. But as I grab some of this stuff up, get it starting to spread, I'm going to start grabbing our cardboard and laying it down. So I'm going to actually go the reverse direction here and start by laying down the cardboard. That again will help to retain a lot of that moisture. Help things keep growing. Okay, go down a little further. Throw this stuff on. One thing to notice is that this is real patchy. When we laid it down, it was still a little bit patchy, but it wasn't this patchy. The ground has taken over quite a bit in that regard, and we've gotten a good bit of breakdown on this cardboard. So it is working as intended. It is a cover for our plants and protecting them, but it is also added nutrients for our soil. Okay, covering back up here. I'll just go ahead and do one side and then the other. And hopefully, if we're good enough about it, we don't get too beat up by weeds. Because my concern right now is that because we have moved our layer of protection here, our cover, our mulch, as it were, that we will be seeing quite a bit of expansion in our weeds. That'll just mean we have to weed a little more aggressively, but that also means we'll have to keep an eye on it more carefully. Over the last month or two, since we did this, it's been fairly slow. We've still had some cool weather here, so we haven't had to worry about our weeds being too aggressive just yet. but it seems like that is going to change pretty quickly. So we're just going to make sure we have a good bit of coverage here. Going in on this side, trying to spread out just as evenly as we can. It's not going to be perfect, but it should get decent. Okay. Spreading out and moving forward. Okay. Okay. So now, almost done covering everything back up. Looking like it's going to retain things pretty well. Keep that moisture locked in. Keep our garden growing. All right. So that's pretty good there. And I would say all right, looking pretty good. So I can move that. We did it. We planted all of this from where I'm at down this row with carrots, 2 rows of carrots. And unfortunately, where that stick is, you can see right there is where we had to stop with our Walla Walla onions, but we will be back for some more soon. The good news is this is plenty for us, especially if these carrots work out. So we'll keep moving forward there. One other thing I want to show you guys is I will show you where the Garden of Nations sign is. We'll prop that guy back up because it's been sitting throughout the winter, so it's had some rough patches. And I'll show you guys a little bit of our lettuce seedlings that we're getting started up. Also, I can hype up and show you guys our blackberries before it gets too dark. Let me walk over here and show you guys. Look at this. Look at this. All of these white flowers that you see right here, all of this, these are blackberries. So any of those little white speckles you can see in the background should be a little bit better to see in the daylight, but those are all blackberries. So we will have a ton of blackberries this season growing up and ready for us to eat on, make jams with, make soda with, all sorts of things. And then I'm going to come right around and I'm going to show you guys our beautiful Garden of Nations sign. Again, it has been kicked over for the season, but we won't let that happen for long. This is the Garden of Nations. These are our raised beds that we have let go for the season. However, that is soon to change. We're going to pretty quickly be back in filling those raised beds and getting them started with some seeds as well. However, since we are expanding with the plot and growing up what we're doing here, we wanted to make sure we start with that. Oh goodness, okay. So I'm having to make sure we stomp that down real well, and in fact, what I might do, give it a little extra support there by backfilling it. Okay, let's see how that's going to work out. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay. So once again, this is the sign for the Garden of Nations. And I am super proud as the Empire of Aeternia, as the Emperor of the Empire of Aeternia, to be representing it and to have our supporters by our side in growing its progress. See if you guys can see that. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And then one more thing as we go along to show you guys are our lettuce seedlings. So these will be a little harder to see, but I should be able to set you guys up pretty well with some light in just a moment. So here's where they're set up. As you can see, there's a tarp over them to prevent them from getting too much sun, but there we go. Let's take a look at them. Okay, so I'm gonna flip you guys around so I can show you in detail. Oop, oop. Okay, oop. Here are our lettuce seedlings. They're growing up in seed blocks that we made ourselves, and they're doing it. Not all of them are succeeding as much as we would like to. A few of them, like these guys right here, kind of wilted. This guy right here, he's still holding on. He's got a fairly thick root base, but he is not doing the best. He is struggling just a little bit, and we hate to see that, but he should be okay if we can get him the right protection. Again, some of these guys, I don't know if it was overwatering or root shock, heat stroke, what it was, but some of these guys have just not taken too well to it. A number of them, though, are doing quite well. So we should be able to get some lettuce seedlings, plant them out. It is just tough growing lettuce in the Alabama heat. We should get a heat-tolerant form of lettuce, and that's one of our goals for the future. But right now, we're just seeing what we can do. His Majesty Queen Bougie jumping in and saying, Talon Farm is looking great. Thank you so much, Queen Bougie. Also, let me swap back over here. I appreciate you. I'm actually hoping to get on a phone call with you this evening if you are available. I am excited to talk to you about continual development here at Talon and Vine Farm, as well as more collaboration between Aeternia and Mecklenburg City-State. So if you have the availability tonight, I would love to talk to you about that as we continue pressing on. So that being the case, I think we are going to start winding down here. Fantastic. So His Majesty Queen Bougie said, I am excited as well, and yes, I'm available. Fantastic. Glad to hear. One other thing before we do wind down, though. Tomorrow, we are going to be having a live stream with the other members of the Empire of Aeternia's government. That is the Right of Talon, David Morris, and High Envoy Fred Gilman. We will be talking about the issues related to working in the United States and the world beyond here tomorrow, Sunday. It will be a big deal. We're going to be discussing all of those issues. We're going to be trying to provide our thoughts on why people may turn to organizations in their communities, maybe even micronations altogether, to become a part of new societies in trying to deal with these issues and the struggles that they face with trying to keep their families supported. This is a big topic for a lot of people. I know it impacts my family directly. It impacts lots of families all around the world. So definitely make sure to check that out. We are all in this together, and we are going to find solutions to our problems and improve our future. So thank you all so much for being here. And as always, Aeternia forever. Wait, one more thing. It is tomorrow, Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time. I should specify that. Check out our Discord server for more information. Sunday, April, is that 12th? Excuse me. Yes, Sunday, April 12th at 1 p.m. Central Time. We will be having that live stream. And again, Aeternia forever. See you guys.